Okay, good evening, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time for some Doctor News. News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on some strange level. Apparently, I caused a shitstorm yesterday on Facebook because of the article I put up. Here, let me show it to you. Now, did anyone bother reading the full title on this article? Apparently, a lot of people didn't because I got a lot of weird complaints and stuff. Now, a lot of people also liked this video because apparently they read the entire title where it says allegedly at the end. Because I even addressed at the beginning of the video that a lot of this is based off a rumor coming off of 4chan, off an unknown name, unnamed source, and also because I sourced the Mirror article in it because that's basically where I think they're getting a lot of it from. Plus, they're condemning the Mirror. Yeah, I wouldn't trust the Mirror most times, but I hate to say this, but last year on a lot of their Doctor Who stuff, I don't know who's talking to them, but they were right on the mark for most cases. And that's the only reason why I even bothered to source the Mirror, is because it was as a source of reference. But apparently this has led to a decision by said group that unless it's official, that it's no longer allowed to be posted anything having to do with Peter Capaldi leaving Doctor Who as a title or for an article. So basically you've just censored off an entire topic of discussion. I don't like that kind of thing. That's not my scene, not my bag. I'll stay in the group. I'll abide by your rules. I just won't look at you the same way anymore because you're so afraid to discuss the subject. I got some sad news for you, but all signs point towards I think he's leaving after 2017, and there's nothing you can do about it, frankly. I think it's an executive decision, and also the fact that, some other things I think factored in. But that's my opinion, and I even stated so in this video. Maybe next time, before y'all run screaming to the moderators, watch the video. Within the first 2 minutes of it, I explain this. So, you see, that's one of the hazards you encounter when you're out running around doing this on YouTube. It's like they think you just yank this stuff out of the air, and I don't. But okay, now that I'm done ranting and raving, let's get on to the news bit. Peter Capaldi arrives at the party with the aid of a walking stick. I mainly just put this on here because it's a nice little short video of him arriving at the Radio Times cover party. And he is using his cane again, but at the same time, I have arthritis myself. So chances are his knees are probably just acting up because of the cold weather. My ankles have been killing me. So I know what it's like. So this is nothing to read into here. Oh my God. It's not like he rolled in a wheelchair, I'm sorry. My brain just went addled on me. It's not like, he rolled in a wheelchair with his feet in casts and traction or anything like that. It's just, or Stephen Hawking style, as a friend of mine said. That's what I was thinking of. No, that's not what happened. He just showed up to the Radio Times cover party, and I really dig the beard. Okay. Peter Capaldi on the new Doctor Who companion. And once again, this is probably just one interview that they've carved up in the 50 articles, but I couldn't find unfortunately, this was exclusive to the Radio Times. So we all had to suffer through 5 articles probably for one interview. Oh, okay. All right. When blah, blah, okay, recently said goodbye, blah, blah, blah. Okay. When he's speaking exclusively to the Radio Times at the Radio Times cover party, he said, this is basically about, Jenna Lee saying goodbye to Jenna. He said, we just had some brief talks about it. We haven't actually, no, sorry. That was that part right there. See, I lost track. I said, I'm so weird. All right. This is basically talking about on the possible new companion. He goes, we just had some brief talks about it. We haven't actually chosen someone yet that I know of. Perhaps someone has been chosen, but I would expect that I would meet them before we finalize all that. He goes, we are looking for someone different. He added with a mysterious smile, lingering on that last word. The one where, all right, and then he goes on about heaven sent. And I'm going to let you all read this on your own, that part right there. Okay, preparing to film Series 10. He goes, I'll be getting into training. He says, you have to be fit to do Doctor Who, and I've just been getting myself ready, and I'll be getting into a training to start the show. When we start, it'll run 9 months, and the most important thing is to be there and be fit and be on top of everything. He goes, I'm looking forward to starting. And he asked if he has any other work lined up during the hiatus. He said his mind was only on the timer. He goes, there wasn't really anything else around that I particularly wanted to do. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got great writers and some fabulous, exciting stories. What he had to say about Chibnall, let's just get past the blurb. Let's get right around. He goes, I think Chris is a wonderful writer. So that's the exciting thing about Doctor Who. I don't really know what he's going to do with it. It's going to be different, and he'll take it in a different direction. That is his, and that'll be very exciting. That's the lovely thing about Doctor Who. It keeps changing. Steven's been fabulous, but it'll be very exciting to see what Chris does. it's all, and when he asked about the whichever new direction the series goes in, he says that playing the Time Lord will always keep him on his toes. He goes, it's always a challenge. I don't take it lightly. It's always hard trying to figure out how to do it, but that's a delightful challenge. But all right, now we get to some weirdness news. Okay, don't worry, I cut off some of the article. But okay, Netflix has some good news and bad news for fans of Doctor Who, and let's just skip to the skinny. All right, the latest word is, as of this recording, that as of February 1st, Doctor Who is leaving Netflix in the U.S., but not in the U.K. You heard me right. UK Netflix will still carry Doctor Who. And guess what? It's also leaving Hulu. And they say here, how nervous should stateside Whovians be? And like I said, this is as of this recording. They have been known to do 11th hour negotiations before, so keep your shirts on. You never know. It's a few days yet to the 1st. Maybe something will change in this story. If it does, I'll be on and let you know. All right, some other stuff. David Tennant, third series of W1A is on the way, says the writer at the RTS event. And of course, this is more known because David Tennant narrates this particular series. It's a fly-on-the-wall documentary, and I heard I heard it's kind of a comedy. I haven't watched it myself, but I really want to sit down and do it because I like watching British comedy. All right. Matt Smith is going to star in the Mapplethorpe biopic, and basically he's been cast as Robert Mapplethorpe. Is it Mapplethorpe or Mapplethorpe? Okay. And a new film about the controversial photographer and his longtime muse, avant-garde singer Patti Smith. And then it goes into this right here, and it talks a little bit more about it. Okay, so if you're following the Smith and you're following the Tennant, that's what they're up to. Lastly, this is just another thing. We summed up a little bit of this on last week's Moffat Quits Enter the Chib Omega Files, but this is looking back at Chris Chibnall's episodes he's written thus far, and he's had some pretty interesting ones that he's put out there. And lastly for today, from the Grimsby Telegraph, basically you're going to have stars of Harry Potter and Star Wars and whatnot, but I mainly focus on this guy right here. Simon Fisher Becker will be there as well. For all the details you need, this is going to be being held on Sunday, February 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Oasis Academy in Wintringham in Wheelsby Avenue, Grimsby. So if you're interested in this, boom, here's the article if you want to go look into this. Some of the other guests that are going to be out there are going to be, sorry, I just had this in my mind a second ago. Okay, Michael Henbury, shortest man in the UK. He's also been in Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Labyrinth, Harry Potter, and in Deathly Hallows Part 2. And he also Pam Rose, who appeared in the original Star Wars, Tim Burton's Batman, and the 78 Superman, and Space 1999. And also the other guest, the third guest, is John Campling, and of course with Simon being the fourth. And he goes, you may have seen John Campling in Harry Potter and some other things. And there's a whole list of stuff there if you want to check it out. Okay, so that's interesting. If you're in the area, you want to go pop in, all the details you need are right here. So once again, I really am not a big fan of censorship, but I'll say, look, I'll stand by the group's decision. I'm not going to make waves. I'm not going to rock the boat. But at the same time, I have to sit here and think, well, now what's going to be out of bounds? The second anybody complains, or just a handful of people complain out of the 104,000 you have in the group, suddenly that topic is banned. And I really hate seeing that kind of thing happen, because that means there's no discussion, because everybody's going to be walking on eggshells trying to figure out what's allowed to be discussed, even though you might have sources they don't know about. Now, I'm like I said, I'm not admitting to saying I'm hearing anything from the BBC, because right now I'm not hearing anything about all this. It's been a dead zone for quite a while now for me. But I'm just saying, my gut instinct is, if they had maybe done a series for 2016, I could see Capaldi hanging around for a 4th series in 2017. But the fact they're skipping a year and adding all that, I think, honestly, my instinct is that he is leaving after 2017. That's my firm opinion. I think he's going to exit. And whether it had anything to do with what they're saying in the 4chan article and all that, I don't know. But I have an eerie feeling, because I know how studio execs work. Just look at some of the classic examples, if you do a little reading, on how studio execs have completely effed up television series with their ideas. Ask Christopher Titus why his show went off the air after 3 years, even though he was getting excellent ratings and had like 3 Emmys won. It's because he disagreed with a studio exec on how the show should go, and next thing you know, his show is getting canceled. You see, that's the kind of politics you got to deal with in those upper echelons. And like I said, I leaned off Moffat after I found out what forces were opposing him in the 50th anniversary year, not to mention some other things along the way. But you have to watch out for that. TV execs think they know what's best for TV. Go back to your office and keep pushing your paperwork, you moron. Love to you. Okay, I'm out of here. So take it easy. Take care. Ta-ta. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll catch you on the flip side. Good night.